You are now tuned in to Rum, Louisiana.
So the title of what we're gonna be going into is the art of friendship. We're gonna spend a little bit of time in Sirach chapter 6. We're gonna do something a little different where we bounce between the KJV and the GNT. So if Yabayan, if you could hold the GNT of Sirach 6,
Okay.
and Kowal Gadol, if you could hold the KJV, and we're gonna have some other supporting precepts in there as well. Um, so this lesson was I thought was important because relationships are so crucial to our overall being. And as a matter of fact, I kind of want to start with our hallmark scripture. Um, Psalm, let's bring out Psalm chapter 133. We usually just read verse 1, but let's read it all the way through.
John, this is the book of Psalm, chapter 133, and verse 1.
hmm
Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity.
So it's good and pleasant for brothers to dwell together in unity, right? We titled the whole group chat after this precept, right? And this is in the context of brethren, brothers. We're all, brothers and sisters by nationality, but we want to take it a step further, and we want to take it a step further and go into the friendship aspect as well. Keep reading out.
John, verse 2. It is like the precious ointment upon thy head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirts of his garments.
So it's like a precious ointment, right? If you spent any time in Leviticus, the ointments and oils that they used for anointing was often had different fragrance in it, whether it be frankincense or, some of the other fragrances of some of the other oils and essentials in that regard. So keep going.
Verse 3. As the dew of Hermon,
hmm
and as the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion.
hmm
For there the Lord commanded the blessings, even life forevermore.
So it's a blessing for us to dwell together in unity. So we're gonna deal with the friendship aspect of brotherhood and sisterhood. Again, we're gonna be very brief, but we're gonna get through this. So let's start out with Sirach chapter 6, verse number 1 in the KJV.
Khan, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 6, and verse 1.
hmm
Instead of a friend, become not an enemy.
So there's a book that's called, if I'm not mistaken, if I may butcher the name, but there's a book, it's called Choose Your Enemies Wisely. I haven't read it, but I've heard people speak extensively on it. And it basically goes into the aspect of, you have to be strategic when you want to declare war on someone or you want to make someone your enemy. So you have to be cautious of that thing first and foremost, right? Go ahead.
Khan, for thereby thou shalt inherit an ill name,
Now, for
shame.
for my for my East Coast brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying? When we talking about an ill name, this is not a positive thing, right? This is we in this context, we talking about an ill name. It is a name that is undesirable, right? Go ahead.
Thou shalt inherit a ill name,
hmm
shame, and
hmm
reproach. Even so shall a sinner that hath a double tongue.
Even so, a sinner that has a double tongue. So, in regard to speech, let's talk about a double tongue for a brief second. A double tongue is being deceitful or hypocritical purposefully, right? You're doing this with a certain agenda in mind. So you want your speech to be upright and honorable. And this is the communication lines are a part of the first steps in building in communication lines are essential in building any relationship and maintaining any relationship, right? Keep going. Well,
Con, verse
actually, Salakia, let's get James chapter 3 right quick.
con,
James chapter 3, and let's go to verse 5.
This is the book of James, chapter 3 and verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
Even so, the tongue is a little member
So
and boasteth.
the tongue is a small part of your body, but it causes a great impact. Go ahead.
Even so, the tongue is a little member and boasteth great things.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindleth.
So how great can a small part of your body cause such great damage and such great chaos? Right? Go ahead.
Behold, Salakia, and the tongue is a fire,
Mm-hmm.
a world of iniquity.
A world of
So,
iniquity.
so is the tongue among our members,
Mm-hmm.
that it defileth the whole body.
So you can defile your body in your speech and the activities that your speech will get you into. Go ahead.
That it defileth the whole body and setteth on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire of hell.
Let's get Proverbs 18 and 21.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 18 and verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
Death and life are in the power of the tongue,
Mm-hmm.
and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof.
So death and life are in the power of the tongue, because the things that you speak, the perspective that you have when you're viewing things and you speak on things can breathe life into it. You can build someone up with your words, and you can destroy and tear someone down with your words. Even yourself, you can build yourself up and tear yourself down with your words and your inner dialogue, right? Now let's go to Sirach 28. In verse number 12.
In the GNT or in the KJV?
KJV.
You want to Sirach 28 and 12, right?
Yep.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 28 and verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
If thou blow the spark, it shall burn.
Mm-hmm.
If thou spit upon it, it shall be quenched.
Mm-hmm.
And these came out of thy mouth.
And both of these come out of thy mouth. So your mouth is a powerful instrument of your body. That Proverbs just told you life and death lie in the power of the tongue. And Sirach just told you can blow on a spark and advance the burn, advance the flames, or you can spit on a spark and quench the fire and put the fire out. Keep going on 13.
Verse 13. Curse the whisperer and double-tongued.
So curse the whisperer and the double tongue, the person that speaks deceitfully, and the person that speaks behind the backs of those, that speaks behind people's backs and that are backbiting. Go ahead.
For such have destroyed many that were at peace.
For such have destroyed many that were at peace. You got some, Salaki?
Yeah, I got precept. This is the book of James, chapter 3 and verse 10. Out of the same mouth proceeded blessing and cursing, my brethren. These things not so to be.
Con. Out of your mouth, it shouldn't become blessing and curse. Is then in verse 9, does it talk about salt water and fresh?
Verse 11.
That 11. Go ahead to verse 11.
Yeah. I can read that on. Verse 11. Though the fountain send forth at the same place sweet water and bitter. And verse 12. Can the fig tree by my brethren bear olives, berries, either a vine figs? So can no fountain both yield salt water and fresh.
So what's interesting about those bodies of water is that, oftentimes, creatures that live in a saltwater habitat can't live in a freshwater habitat, right? So you have to have your mouth has to be fixed one way. You have to either, have a disposition to speak blessings, or, you should not, but you'll have the disposition to speak curses with your mouth, right? So back in Sirach 28, start at verse 13 again.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 28 and verse 13. Curse the whisperer and double tongue.
Curse the whisperer and double tongue. Go ahead.
For such have destroyed many that were at peace.
For such have destroyed many that were at peace. Again, we talk about this thing a lot, you know, is that many people die. Many people have been killed and have been put in the grave. Well, I'm sorry, many people have been killed and put in prison based off of rumors, based off of, you know, false information and double speak, right? Go ahead to 14.
Verse 14, a backbiting tongue hath disquieted many, and driven them from nation to nation. Strong cities hath it pulled down, and overthrown the houses of great men.
So a backbiting tongue has disquieted many and driven them out from nation to nation. It's caused people, talking behind people's back can cause someone to become a wanderer where they have no home. They feel safe. They don't feel safe with this group. They don't feel safe with this group. So now they're going from place to place. You know, they're all over the place. They're a sojourner, right? And have, again, strong cities have it pulled down and overthrown the houses of great men, because on the previous point, backbiting can cause wars and fights and death, right? And finally, let's go to verse 15.
Verse 15, a backbiting tongue hath cast out virtuous women, and deprived them of their labors.
A backbiting tongue hath cast out virtuous women. A while back, I think maybe some months ago, I think it was a lesson that was called "Your tongue will," well, it was in your. I think it was called "Your mouth will get you destroyed" or something like that, and it was great emphasis on this point of, you know, how, you know, backbiting, you know, spreading rumors, gossip, you know, can cause so much strife. And unfortunately, our sisters, not our sisters, but sisters in Israel, and even women of other nations are subject to gossip and rumors. There's whole TV shows and talk shows that are based around these topics alone. You know,
like the Real Housewives.
Like the Real Housewives. People on YouTube like Tasha K, you know, have created a whole business model around gossip, to the point where she's willing to be sued and undergo lawsuits because she wants to talk about other people's business, right? These things are not becoming of building a friendship, right? So let's continue on. Let's get back to Sirach chapter 6. So give me that verse 2 of Sirach 6 in the KJV.
This the book of Sirach chapter 6 and verse 2. Extol not thyself in the counsel of thy own heart, that thy soul be not torn in pieces as a bull straying alone.
Now let's get that in the GNT out of one. Verse 2.
This is the book of Sirach chapter 6 verse 2 in the GNT. Do not let your passions carry you away.
Do not let your passions carry you away. Go ahead.
This can tear your soul to pieces like a bull.
Because your passions, they can be temporary, right? The way that you feel, you may be hot this minute and you'll be cold the next minute, right? Keep going on verse 3 in the GNT, or Salakia, verse 3 in the KJV.
This is verse 3. Thou shalt eat up thy leaves and lose thy fruit, and leave thyself as a dry tree.
And then give me that in a GNT, verse 3.
Verse 3 in the GNT, Sirach chapter 6. You will be left like a dead tree without any leaves or fruit.
Like a dead tree without any leaves or fruit. Now to backtrack, we're talking about the context of backbiting, the context of your tongue causing strife and grief, right? Now for a little support, let's visit Psalm chapter 1. Give it to me from the top at verse 1, Baba Kasha.
It's the book of Psalms chapter 1, verse 1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful.
Go ahead.
Verse 2, but his delight is in the law of the Lord.
this man's delight is in the law of the Lord. The blessed man, that is, right? Go ahead.
And in his law doth he meditate day and night.
He's meditating on the law of the Most High day and night. It's consuming his mind. Verse 3.
Verse 3, and he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bring forth his fruit in his season.
Right.
His leaf also shall not wither. And whatsoever he doeth shall prosper.
Right. Now, in verse 3 of Sirach 6, it said that you will be left like a dead tree without any leaves or fruit, right? So another aspect of relationships or friendships, you should, of course, I know I'm preaching to the choir with this one, but you should, your mind should be set on the law of the Lord, right? Your delight should be on the law of the Lord, meditating on it day and night, right? And you will be blessed. Bring out your precept.
This is Ganon precept. He said, Proverbs 21:23, whoso keepeth his mouth and his tongue, keepeth his souls from trouble.
Good precept. Really good precept.
Okay.
Let's keep going on in Sirach 6 in the KJV. Give me verse 4.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 6 and verse 4. A wicked soul shall destroy him that hath it.
Because when you have a wicked soul, you're self-destructive, right? Go ahead.
And shall make him to be laughed to scorn of his enemies.
You're going to be laughed to scorn. You know, when somebody makes a joke about you and you don't think it's funny, you know what I mean? Like, and it's something that cuts you to your heart. It could be something small, right? And shall make him to be laughed to Salakia, and shall make him to be laughed to scorn of his enemies, right? Give me verse 4 in the G&T.
Salakia. Sis 28, you say?
Chapter 6, verse 4.
Verse 6, chapter 6, verse 4. Evil desire will destroy you and make you a joke to your enemies.
Again, evil desires will destroy you and you'll become a joke to your enemies. You'll be the butt of the joke, right? Now, as a side note, the G&T and the KJV, of course, that the spirit of what they're bringing out are the same, but I think that it, you know, when you compare versions and you compare how each version brings out verses, it draws out more edification. So, give me a con in the chat if that's helpful for you, or give me a la if it's confusing for you.
And you know, one of the artists, believe it or not, J. Cole made a song about being the butt of jokes and how offensive that is to people who trying to find their way. And it's just like, yo, my man, why you gotta point me out? I'm trying to just keep it moving, try to figure it out myself, and yet I'm the butt of the joke. So that's right on point what you're saying. I didn't want to.
And it's often, you know, when you're growing up, at least, you know, you're often going through that awkward stage, you know what I'm saying? Well, like you said, where you're trying to find yourself, you're trying to find your way, and you may be a little quirky, you know what I mean? And so you'll end up being the butt of a joke because you do some behavior or something that is not easily understood among your peers. And so, you know, the next set of verses, according to the G&T, it has the subtitle of friendship, right? So let's get back to the KJV and go to verse 5.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 6 and verse 5. Sweet language will multiply friends.
Man, because then again, your communications are key. You're not gonna make friends with nobody talking to them crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like if you you know, even with a spouse, you know, what woman is gonna tolerate a man that is continuously being a lion in his house, you know, barking orders, not speaking smoothly, and likewise to that of a man. A man does not want to hear a woman who is talking to him crazy all the time, calling him out of his name, and so on and so on, right? He can appreciate sweet language, right? Give me that from the top again of verse 5.
Sweet language will multiply friends,
Mm-hmm.
and a fair speaking tongue will increase kind greetings.
A fair speaking tongue will increase kind greetings. Let's go to the Salakia. Let's go to the GNT.
This is the GNT, chapter 6, verse 5 of Sirach.
Mm-hmm.
If you are polite and courteous, you will enjoy the friendship of many people.
If you're polite and courteous, you will enjoy the friendship of many people, right? Because again, your personality is attractive to folks when you are courteous and you're polite and you're approachable in your manner, your conduct, and your speech, right? Verse 6 in the KJV.
Verse 6, be in peace with many,
Mm-hmm.
nevertheless have but one counselor of 1,000.
Be at peace with many, but have one counselor of 1,000. Now, I like the masterful language of Sirach, because it almost kind of echoes verse 1 when he said, instead of a friend, become not an enemy, right? So it's verse 6 is still kind of to that same spirit of be mindful of who you're selecting as your friends, but especially those as your enemies, right? So be in peace with many, nevertheless have but one counselor of 1,000. Verse 5 in the KJV, Salakia, verse 6 in the KJV.
In the GNT, brother?
Salakia, in the GNT.
All
this version switching caused me to, get tripped up, brother. You gotta keep me on my toes, man.
I hear you. This is chapter 6 of Sirach in the GNT.
Mm-hmm.
Exchange greetings with many, but take advice from only one person out of 1,000.
So I like the fraction too on this, So basically, Sirach is likening, people who are worthy to give advice as saying only 1 in 1,000 people are only wise. You know what I'm saying? Or are worthy of you accepting their advice, right? Precept on that. Let's go to Tobit chapter 4, and let's read verse 18. In the KJV, of course.
This is the book of Tobit, chapter 4, and verse 18.
Mm-hmm.
Bless the Lord God always, and desire of him that
Salakia, verse 18.
Salakia, I'm going off.
18.
Ask counsel of all that are wise.
Of all that are wise. So again, that 1 of 1,000, right? Go ahead.
And despise not at any counsel that is profitable.
So if the counsel is deemed as profitable, then you should count it as good, right? Go ahead.
19.
Mm-hmm.
Bless the Lord thy God always, and desire of him that thy ways may be directed, and that all thy paths and counsels may prosper.
So bless the Lord always, and desire of him that thy ways may be directed, that he'll direct your path, and that all of your paths and your counsels prosper. So even you should pray about the counsel that you receive. Typically those who are giving you counsel are wise and are worthy of giving counsel, but you should also pray to the Most High that the Most High is guiding your counselors, right? And I like this next clause too. Keep going on that. For every nation.
For every nation hath not counsel, but the Lord himself giveth all good things, and he humbleth whom he will, as he will. Now therefore, my son, remember my commandments.
It always go back to the commandments. Go ahead.
Neither let them be put out of thy mind.
And keep them on your mind, right? So it says, for every nation hath not counsel. And I like that because, it draws emphasis on the fact that how Israel, is a light, and how the Most High is dealing with us, and how he's esteemed us and held us high above all nations. And we have been given his wisdoms, his laws, his statutes, his counsels, his commandments, and we've been blessed to be his chosen to receive that, right? So let's go. Yep.
It's like, it was to the last 2 points. You were talking about accepting counsel and showing yourself friendly, right? And I think this precept kind of covers both of them. This is Proverbs 18:24. It says, a man that hath friends must show himself friendly, and there is a friend that sticketh closer to a brother, right? That's showing yourself friendly, that you're attracting friends, right? Now to the counseling part, now a brother, somebody that stick closely to you like a brother, you're able to accept that counsel. What if you're going to a brother, he's giving you advice about something, you call on a brother, he's been through something that you've been through, you stick closer to a brother because you're going to go to that brother and ask him for that counsel, and you're more apt to accept that counsel, because just like the latter verse of the verse says, there is a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. That don't have to be blood related. It could be a brother in the truth. It could be a brother in the camp or whatever that you're close with. And that brother, you go to that brother for some sound advice, and you're more apt to accept that counsel.
Excellent precept. I actually got that in my clip to shoot out. You know what I'm saying? And that was a precept is really the spirit, because I think I wanted to use that precept there and in another place. So that's the spirit that you brought that out. Let the water for that out.
Okay.
So continuing on in verse 7 of Sirach chapter 6, in the KJV, go ahead.
You want verse 6 or 7?
Well, we just read. We could take verse 6 again, but we want verse 7. Verse 7.
Okay, 7
is the now read 6 again, just off the strength, and then verse 7 is one of the most notorious Israelite verses ever. Go ahead.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 6 and verse 6. Be in peace with many, nevertheless have but one counselor of 1,000.
One counselor of 1,000, right? So take the wise counsel as the good brother brought out in Proverbs, that there's a friend that sticketh closer than a brother, and that there is a friend, Salakia, a man that hath friends must show himself friendly, and there's a friend that sticketh closer than a brother, because that friend and that brother is going to give you good wise counsel. Go ahead to verse 7.
If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him.
If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first. You got to prove him, and be not hasty to credit him. Don't be so quick to say, you a good brother, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to prove him first.
Salakia and sister.
Say it again.
I say and sister.
Good. Don't be so quick to say that just because of sister, she know the greeting and the salute, you know what I'm saying, and she give you the shalom all the time, and she seemed nice. Don't be so quick. That's a good sister right there, man. Or if you're courting, if you're getting to know a person, don't be so quick to say, I think this might be the one. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even known him or her long. You know what I'm saying? You just met them the other week. And just because they can break down the Bible real good, you think automatically that the Lord is putting them there for you directly. You got to prove it first, right? Let's see what it says in the GNT, verse 6.
This is Sirach chapter 6, verse 7 in the GNT. When you make friends, don't be too quick to trust them.
Don't be too quick to trust them, right? Go ahead.
Make sure that they have proved themselves.
Make sure that they have proved themselves, right? Because even as the scripture says, you have to be tried in the fire, right? Even as gold is tried in fire, So proving a friend is utterly crucial in order for you to establish a long-lasting relationship. People come in and out of your life all the time, some just for a small season, but others are there for years and many seasons to come, you know. But
Salakia.
Many precepts on that. Bring them out. Bring them out.
So Edwin, I was gonna bring out the aspect of friendship from the time standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if you consider close relationships, they take a ridiculous amount of time to form. And
we was talking about this the other day.
Correct. Researchers have actually studied how long it takes to build a relationship. They found that on an average of 50 hours to turn an acquaintance into a friend, 90 hours, 50 hours. And that's you being with that person, you know, consistently, not like or consistently. I wouldn't say like a 40-hour work week, but consistently, like every third Sunday, y'all get together, y'all spend a certain amount of time together.
Yep.
You know, and then it says it takes 90 hours to turn a friend into a good friend. So you got another 40 hours on top of the 50 that you was getting. And then it says it takes 200 hours to turn a good friend into a best friend. And that's pretty
long time,
that's a real long time, actually. You know what I'm saying? Because that's when you put it together, that's years. That's a couple years of getting to know a person, ins and out, making sure that like when they give you a certain look and y'all in the middle of a crowd, you understand the look. It was so much said and nothing was said.
And what's funny is every one of us here knows exactly what that means.
Yes, yeah.
You know, all praises for that. That's good information. You had something you was gonna bring out, or was that it on what you had out of one? Yeah, okay, Khan. Ganon, you had something?
Hey, Khan, you was talking about you brought out the point about don't be hasty to credit people, right? Prove people as a friend, right?
Yeah.
I think one of the greatest examples that we have is Yahushua and the 12 disciples, right? You notice that he knew that he had a Judas. He knew that somebody was going to betray him, right? He knew what this person was going to do. He knew every move this person made. He knew that when certain things, miraculous things happened, there was only 3 disciples that was always on the scene when those things happened. So there are certain people that are there for a season, just like you said, Judas was a season. Judas was there to, you know, to pretty much push what Yahushua had to do, what had to do for us in order to have repentance. So if we just look at and analyze Yahushua and the 12 disciples, that's a great example of not hasty to credit people and understanding about building friendships.
Most definitely. Look, to your point, hey, I'm agreeing with you. I think 2 years is good too.
Hey, that's how look. I'm having
I think 2 years is good. You know what I'm saying? All praises to the Most High, man. Look,
all praises.
Look. All right. So let's proceed. Let's proceed to verse 8 in the KJV of Sirach chapter 6.
God, this is the book of Sirach chapter 6 and verse 8. For some man is a friend for his own occasion.
Yep.
And will not abide in the day of thy trouble.
Because some people have their own agenda, and when the heat turn up, they ghost, man. So let's see what it says in the GNT, verse 8.
Salaki, I was on mute. Verse 8. Some people will be your friends only when it is convenient for them.
Only when it is convenient for them, right? It's the relationship is about them being served, not a reciprocal serving of each other, right? Go ahead.
But they won't stand by you in trouble.
But they will not stand by you in trouble. They not 10 toes down, as we like to say in the South.
They don't stand on business, huh?
They don't stand on business, man. You know what I'm saying?
On business, like.
You know what I'm saying? And so and what's unfortunate is that we can make light of it and, you know, and things of that nature. But the truth is, you know, those are some of the most tragic people to have in your corner, you know, that you think that you've built up a relationship or operation on strong, firm ground, and they ghost you, you know what I'm saying? Or they abandon you when the strong time, in the great time of need. You know what I'm saying?
Excellent.
Yep.
Oh, I had a precept for I forgot to bring this up, but I wanted to make sure I brought this out. This was for that verse 7 about proving them.
Yep.
I had one in Sirach chapter 8, verse 19. That I'm gonna let you get that real quick, because this was one that I had written on the side of my scripts, but I was reading it from the web. So
yeah, we need all of them. Verse 8, verse 19.
Yeah, open not thine heart to every man, lest he requite thee with a shrewd turn. And it actually flows into verse 8 as well. That shrewd turn is being underhanded in dealing with you. So again, you're in trouble, and they kind of just blowing you off in that capacity. So solid. Want to bring that out for you.
It's extraordinarily solid. And I like that, because it says open not thy heart to every man, right? And so when you open in your heart, you're being in a vulnerable place, that people don't get to access, So in order to do that, you need to be comfortable with that. Most people do it, but some people, they've gone through so much in their life to where they have a hard time with that proving process, and so they just glad that someone will listen, you know what I mean? And so they open their heart, and giving their secrets away or giving information away to a person that is not even worthy of that. So that's excellent.
Hey, and to land me back on your point, it's not to say that you shouldn't be able to have a dialogue with an individual, or even to exchange in a manner to where you get an ear to somebody just hear you. But going back to what you said about, you still should need to have a counsel of 1 out of 1,000. So you got to just be picky about who you open to in that regard.
Most definitely 1 in 1,000. And I think even that analogy in itself is powerful, because think about how many people you ever contact. Some people may not get to ever speak to 1,000 people in their lifetime, so it's just that level of prudence that you have to practice.
They say in a lifetime, one person will influence 10,000 people.
Wow.
So just keep that in mind. That this is again secular, and these are your psychologists and stuff like that. But they say one person will influence 10,000 people. So,
since we're bringing out precepts, one precept I almost left on the table. The brother Regal dropped in the chat. Sirach 37, 12. It says, "But be continually with a godly man whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord, whose mind is according to thy mind." So y'all are like-minded, right? "And he will sorrow with thee." He when you are troubled, he will be there with you, or she will be there with you to help hold you up, to help encourage you and to build you up, right? Continuing on, "If thou shalt miscarry," right? Verse 13, "and let the counsel of thine own heart stand, for there is no man more faithful unto thee than it." So that's going into the aspect of looking out for your own best interest, right? Which
that's solid.
Yeah, and some of us, we get so lost in serving others that we don't put our own interests first, and because we want to make sure that everybody else is good, right? And then he dropped down to verse 15. It says, "And above all this, pray to the Most High that he will direct thy way in truth." Powerful, powerful, powerful. It's echoing several precepts that came already.
I hope everybody writing these down, because I ain't had that one highlighted.
That's a good one, man.
That one in the good one, regard. Good one.
Hold on, wait a minute. Ganon ain't letting us get away. Ganon dropped Mark 3. Hold on, Mark 3.
I get you on your mark. Mark 3 and
verse 33. Yeah.
All right, this is 3 and 33. "And he answered them, saying, Who is my mother? Or my brethren? And he looked round about on them, which he said about them, and said, Behold, my mother and my brethren."
Salakia, right there. Pause right there. So notice how the precept brings out the setting that Yahushua was building with his mother and his brethren, right? So go ahead, verse 35.
Verse 35, for whosoever shall do the will of God, the same as my brother and my sister and my mother.
Doing the will of the Most High are those who do the will of the Most High are our brothers, sisters, and mothers, right? And I love, again, that example of how the scriptures show, like, Yahushua is, he's not wasting time, right? He's hanging out, he's building, teaching, and building up those who are seeking to do the will of the Father, right? And that's what we here doing today, man.
Hey, yo, man, why he ain't say they his father too?
Because that would have been going off, man. That would have been blasphemy, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Look, I'm gonna just that down real quick. That's Matthew 23:9. And call no man your father up on the earth.
God.
You read? Look, I was there with you. I was there with you.
God, bro. Golly, you made me lose. What verse? We was at verse.
We was at 35.
8. Sirach.
Yeah.
Verse 8. Run back for me, verse 8, Baba Kasha, in the KJV.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 6 and verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
For some man is a friend for his own occasion, and will not abide in the day of thy trouble.
Yep. So we ironed out plenty of precepts that deal with that. Go ahead.
9.
Actually, Salakia. Nope. I need one more that I got down. Proverbs 17. Proverbs 17 and verse. Where is it at? Right here. Is it here? Proverbs 17 and 17.
What is it? Proverbs 17.
It's here.
You got it?
Yep, it's right here. Yep. Go ahead.
All right. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 17 and verse 17. A friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity.
A friend loveth at all times, right? Someone that's a true friend is with you. You know what I'm saying? When it's thick, you know what I'm saying? When it's thin, when it's heavy, when it's light, they with you. You know what I'm saying? And a brother is born for adversity, because the brother is gonna be there with you. You know what I'm saying? No matter what it is, you know, if you need somebody to help you fight, to help you war, whether it be physical or in the spirit, their brother, their real friend is gonna be there with you, right? That was one I couldn't leave on the table, right? Let's advance to verse 9 in the KJV.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 6 and verse 9. And there is a friend who, being turned to enmity, I think I said that right.
Enmity,
Salakia, and strife will discover thy reproach.
Read it one more time.
Khan. And there is a friend who, being turned to enmity, and strife will discover thy reproach.
Yep. So there's a friend who turns to enmity. Enmity, the scripture talks about having enmity between you and your brother, right? Or having enmity between one person and another person. It's bad relations. Y'all have turned against each other, right? And strife will discover thy reproach, right? So let's see what it says in the GNT, verse 9.
Did you want that definition out, or you got it? Are you good?
Let's pull it. Enmity, right?
Yeah.
If you got it, go ahead.
Yeah, this is dictionary.com. It says enmity, now a feeling or condition of hostility, hatred, ill will, animosity, antagonism.
Con. Yep. And that's not just ordinary dislike, right? That says a condition of hostility, hatred, ill will, animosity, right? Antagonism. So this is you going back to verse 1, you've made this person your enemy at this point, right? Like you're clearly not walking together at all, right?
GNT.
Yep, in the GNT, verse 9.
Verse 9 in the GNT of chapter 6 of Sirach. Others will fall out with you over some argument. And then
I bet y'all didn't know that that term was in the scriptures, right? So that's I don't know if that's kind of an old school term. You know, your parents, you know, they haven't noticed that you was, you know, that you haven't been talking to one of your friends, and they'd be like, "What happened with you and such and such? Y'all done fell out, right?" Read that again from the top.
It says, "Others will fall out with you over some argument, and then embarrass you by letting everyone know about it."
Ain't that tough? You know what I'm saying? You get into it with somebody that y'all that is your brother or that you're close friends with, right? Over some argument is probably petty and small, and then they embarrass you, right? They blast you or do something to make you uncomfortable in front of others and let everyone know about that thing.
That's tough.
That's really tough, bro.
Tough.
And you know,
and that goes to show that they ain't really your friends from the jump.
That's it. That's it. If they can be tossed and turned by some wind of doctrine, right, that they may have gotten that causes them to disagree with you, that they gotta take it to that level, that's not friends. And furthermore, you know, unfortunately, you know, we're talking about proving a friend and the art of friendship, right? But what's unfortunate about proving a friend is that it's I think it's only probably 99% foolproof, right? You gonna have that 1% that may can just wiggle through the cracks, you know what I'm saying, and cause you to go off or, you know, cause some type of strife and betray you in some type of way, right? They
I got precept for that.
They going heavy in the chat with precepts. What's your precept, Adawan?
Hold on. Let's pull the chat precepts first. Make sure I got 5 new.
You want to start over with Matthew?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's start at Matthew. Yeah, let's do Matthew. That.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 18 and verse 15. And it reads, "Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother."
You see, and you, in one respect, you really owe that to your brother, right? If he's your brother and you know y'all have some disagreement, go and speak with him or your sister. Go and speak with him or her and say, "Look, man, this thing happened. I'm offended. You may not even meant it this way. I just want to clear the air," right? You really owe that to the people that you're in close relationship with, because good relationships are hard to come by. And you don't want to throw them away or put them in jeopardy over misunderstandings or over nothing, right?
That's how people fall out of the truth right there.
You know?
Go ahead.
It's a fact. It's a fact, bro.
Verse 16. But if he will, Salakia, but if he will not hear thee, then take with thee 1 or 2 more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, every word may be established.
Every word will be established with 2 or 3 witnesses. Go ahead.
And if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church. But if he neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as an heathen man, and as a heathen man, and a publican.
And a publican. So what's beautiful is that, you know, Christ and you know, the scriptures put this system in place that allow us to maintain our relationships with each other, right? That you and even on divorce, you know, the Most High regards relationships so high that he gives us systems not only to maintain and develop relationships, but to keep them from falling away. So you go to them one-on-one and speak with them, right? If that don't work, take 2 or 3 witnesses with you and say, "Look, you might be going off, you know what I'm saying? Let's, you know, further build." And then further, it says, take them to the church, right? And have a larger council even, right? So what we got to verse 20. Go ahead and keep reading.
18. Verily I say unto you, whatsoever ye shall bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatsoever ye shall loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. Again I say unto you, that if two of you shall agree on earth as touching anything that they shall ask, and it shall be done for them of thy Father which is in heaven.
So if two of you are agreeing, right, or so that means y'all are in good relationship with each other. Y'all are walking together as friends or as brothers or as sisters, right? Go ahead, verse 20.
For where two or three are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them.
Two or three in agreement as it relates to the Most High in Christ, right? There he is in the midst of them, right? That's beautifully said. I think that's plain up on tables right there. Also, let's go back up a little bit further. Matthew 26 and 15.
Matthew 26, 15 out of 1.
Yep.
This the now pull up on your screen out of 1. I got the other precept for the other brother on my Bible.
Was it Matthew what?
26, 15.
All right, I got it. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 26 and verse 15. And he said unto them, what will ye give me? And I will deliver him unto you. And they covenanted with him for 30 pieces of, you say 16 or 15 of Salakia?
15, you good.
Pieces of silver.
Now, this is extraordinary because, of course, this is the betrayal of our Lord, right? By the man called Judas, right? Now, this goes back into verse 8. In the GNT, it says, let's just pull it up here.
Gotcha.
In the GNT, it says, what does it say again, Ak?
Some people will be your friends only when it is convenient for them.
Only when it's convenient for them. My man's Judas, he was the treasurer. He was, responsible for making reports and keeping a accounting of the bag, right? Go ahead.
But they won't stand by you in trouble.
So, those who were against Christ found a weak link, and was like, you, my mans, you look like I can win you over with some silver, right? And so it was in Judas's best interest, right? At least in his mind, it was at that time. It was in his best interest, right, to get that bag of silver, right, and turn over Yahushua or betray the Lord, right? And just throw away their friendship that they had, right? Deeply unfortunate, right? Just the art of betrayal, it can make me nauseous, right? Sirach, say it again.
Brother had a precept.
We got a couple of them here. We
try to
get
through.
I'm
sitting on at least
3. We're gonna try to get through a couple of them, and I don't want to hold up the family here, but we're gonna try to get through a couple of them. Sirach 9, the brother Regal says Sirach 9 and 10. Bring that out, Baba Kasha.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter. Oh, go ahead.
You got it out of 1.
All right, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 9, verse 10. Forsake not an old friend, for the new is not comparable.
See, an old friend, y'all got, he knew you before you came into the truth, right? So he know your when you was wicked Jake. You know what I'm saying? When you was going off, we was talking about this before the class started. All the things that and activities that brothers and sisters was into. See, he knows you, and he can, if you can win him over, he'll respect you so much more because he sees, wow, this brother, used to be into this and that. Now he's living his life for the Most High. That's powerful, right? So start it again from the top, if you would, Baba Kasha.
Verse 10, forsake not an old friend, for the new is not comparable to him.
Because the new friend, you gotta start over. You gotta start over and begin building a relationship with him, right? Go ahead.
A new friend is as new wine. When it is old, thou shalt drink it with pleasure.
So the relationship has to take time to develop and age, just as wine does, right? Excellent precept, Regal. Excellent.
That was solid.
Go ahead, Adawan.
I wanted to give that precept regarding. I got two here for Sirach regarding the aspect about exposing, embarrassing you, and letting everybody know.
Yep.
That was coming off of verse 9.
Oh, it's still in chapter 9?
No. It was in Sirach 6 that GNT says others will fall out over some argument then embarrass you by letting everyone know about it.
Yeah, go ahead on that. Yep.
All right, I got a precept for that. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 19, verse 8. Whether it be to friend or foe, talk not of other men's lives. And if thou canst without offense, reveal them not. Right? So you're not supposed to be talking about other people, whether they're your friend or your foe. And then I got one more here in Sirach 22.
And Salakia, and that goes into that backbiting that we was talking about previously, all right? But go ahead on the next one.
You ready for me?
Yep.
To go in on the next one? Okay.
Yes,
Sirach 22, verse 22. If thou hast opened thy mouth against thy friend, fear not, for there may be reconciliation. So there's an aspect of words getting back to people to where you reveal something that you didn't think it was too personal to a certain degree. And you can reconcile that relationship. Just like, oh, no, my fault. You know what I'm saying? That was on me. I thought that was, we was just kind of in the moment talking about this, that, and the third, know, but on it says, for there may be reconciliation except for upbraiding or pride, or disclosing of secrets, or a treacherous wound. For these things every friend will depart. So the upbraiding, that means you got something that's supposed to be tight between you and them, and you let it out. The pride is the aspect of you not willing to accept that this thing was personal between you and them. And then the disclosing of secrets, going into how it's called a secret for a reason. And then a treacherous wound, meaning that they was either there when the wound happened, or the wound is scarred over, and underneath they understand what happened and they reveal it, and it's like reopening that wound. And that's why it says, for these things every friend will depart.
Because that's true betrayal, man. You know what I'm saying? That's betrayal, and that's you can't suffer that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even gonna hold you. I've dismissed relationships in my life over betrayal. Whether that person regarded it as whether they realized that that's what it was or not. That's what I regarded it as, and just like, we just got to depart. I don't hate you, you know what I'm saying? But we can't continue to walk together, right?
The old saying is, I still want to see you eat, just not at my table.
You know what I'm saying? That's facts, man. That's facts. Let's see. So we got a couple more here, and we'll be back on track. Let's see, Luke 17. Let's just pull that chapter up.
I got it out.
You got it.
Yeah.
From the top, Baba Kashan.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 17 and verse 1. And it reads, Then said he unto his disciples, It is impossible, but that offenses will come. But woe unto him through whom they come.
Because it's the way that we are as people, because our personalities are different. We can grow up in different cultures. It's just inevitable for somebody to be offended, right? Of course, now this offense is in a deeper context, right? But people are gonna be offended in relationships. It's just impossible for that not to happen. Keep going.
2, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and he cast it into the sea, then that he shall offend one of these little ones.
That means unaliving yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? It's saying that it would be better for you to do that than to have offended a little one. A person who is not rooted in this walk, or even as a child itself who is impressionable, and you're trying to teach them, but you teach them to go off. You teach them that going off is okay, right? Keep going on verse 3.
Take heed to yourselves. If thy brother trespass against thee, rebuke him, and if he repent, forgive him.
Now that's going back into that. Where was we at? Was it Matthew? Was it Matthew 18? I believe it was.
Matthew 18, 15 through 20.
Yeah, that was going through that process about going to your brother. If your brother offends you, go to that brother. Don't wait till the Day of Atonement, right? And be like, you know what, brother? You know, you done waited a whole year. You know what I'm saying? And this brother been looking at you sideways for 364 days. And you wait to the Day of Atonement and say, you know what, brother, I was, Salakia. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
I was going off, man. Yes, that's off, man. Go ahead.
Hey,
what you got?
Hey, but you know what? That actually also ties back to Leviticus 19 and 17 about not suffering sin upon your neighbor.
Yeah.
In that regard, because you need to get that off of you and reconcile that relationship as quickly as possible, if possible.
If possible, man. Go ahead on verse 4.
Verse 4. And if he trespass against thee 7 times in a day, 7 times in a day turn again to thee, saying, I repent, thou shalt forgive him.
Now, this is the flip side, right? So if you go to the brother and the brother said, and the brother accepts what you bringing out, he said, dang, I did go off. That's my fault. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he appears to be sincere in his apology. You got to forgive him. That's just what
or sister.
Or sister. Or if the sister says, I didn't even know that would offend you, Salakia. You know what I'm saying? You got to forgive her for that. Right? That's just what it is. And then the brother said, and verse 16, I don't know if you meant 16 on Luke 17. I don't think he meant that one. That don't seem to go, unless I don't understood. But Sirach, and then the good brother Noah, y'all welcome my good brother Noah to the class. Our good brother Noah said Sirach chapter 6 and verse 7.
That's the chapter we in about proving Yeah.
Look, I done got deep off
he
into the precept. Yeah.
The brother in the spirit.
Good. Salakia. All right, so we back on track. And I'm finna pull up the precept, and that's the precept that the lesson is on. That's funny. All right, so we stopped at verse.
We stopped at verse 9. Come on.
So give me verse 10 in KJV. Go ahead.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 6 and verse 10. Again, some friend is a companion at the table, and will not continue in the day of thy affliction.
So some friend is a companion at the table and will not continue in the day of affliction. It's a kind of a continuation on the previous verse. Let's look at it in the GNT.
Verse 10, others will sit at your table as long as things are going well.
As long as things are going well, go ahead.
They will stick to you like your shadow and give to your servants, but they will not stand by you in trouble.
Yeah, that's an interesting analogy. They'll stick to you like your shadow and give orders to your servants, but will not stand by you in trouble. Let's look at Psalm chapter 55. Psalm 55 and verse number 12. Baba Kasha.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 5.
You got it out of one.
All right. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 55 and verse 12. For if it was not an enemy that reproached me, then I could have borne it.
Go ahead, Salakia.
Neither was it he that hated me that did magnify himself against me. Then I would have hid myself from him. Verse 13. But it was thou, a man, mine equal, my God, and my acquaintance.
So this is going into what we talked about, that betrayal piece, right? And so, David says that, I could have dealt with it. You know what I'm saying? I would have handled it a certain way if it was an enemy that wronged me, And, you know, he even said, then I would have even hid myself from him, because he's picking and choosing his enemies wisely, right? And, you know, but he says, it was a man mine equal, my guide, mine acquaintance, my friend was the one who betrayed me, right? So we want to avoid this at all costs, right? And we can do that. A great start in doing that is in the proving process of proving that friend, right? Let's keep going. Sirach chapter 6, verse number 10 and 11 was bundled together in the G&T, but let's get 11 in the KJV.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 6 and verse 11. But in thy prosperity, he will be as thyself, and will be bold over thy servants. 12.
Give me Job 19.
Job 19.
In verse 19, my precepts got out of order here a little bit.
That's all right. I quick on the sword.
You know,
bring that out.
This is the book of Job, chapter 19, verse 19.
Yeah.
All my inward friends abhor me, and they whom I love are turned against me.
Man. My inward friends, those in my inner circle, they abhorred me, they left me hanging, left me out to dry. And they whom I loved are turned against me, just like Judas, you know, for 30 pieces of silver that he didn't even get to enjoy, right? Proverbs 19, I think I got this one down here. Proverbs 19 and verse 4. I got it on screen too.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 19, verse 4. Wealth maketh many friends, but the poor is separated from his neighbor.
Yep. Jump down to verse 6.
Verse 6. Many will entreat the favor of the prince, and every man is a friend to him that giveth gifts.
You see, it's that convenience aspect, right? When it's in your favor to have a relationship. Now, we're not talking about a business relationship, right? That's a relationship of a totally different nature, right? We're talking about personal relationships. You know, a personal relationship with this person. You're gonna snake your way in, cozy up, you know, and as soon as the benefits dry up, you ghost, right? Give me verse 7, Baba Kashaw.
Verse 7, all the brethren of the poor do hate him. How much more do his friends go far from him? He pursueth them with words, yet they are wanting to him.
Man. Can't belabor this point enough, right? Let's keep going on Sirach, chapter 12 in the Sirach 6, verse 12 in the KJV.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 6 and verse 12. If thou be brought low, he will be against thee, and will hide himself from thy face.
He will hide himself from your face if you're brought low. Amazing. Let's see what the G&T says.
In the G&T, verse 12, if your situation takes a turn for the worse, they will turn against you, and you won't be able to find them anywhere.
Man,
ghosted you.
I don't know if y'all grew up in a situation where, you know, you had to fight physically, fist fight, you know what I'm saying? But you know, you know, your friends that, you know, you go out with, right? That you may have gone out with, you get ready, a situation happens. And this is before you in the understanding, of course, by the way, you know, so let me just get that caveat, you know, the people that may catch the playback and may say, I'm going off, you know, you'll be in a situation where you needed them to be there with you because y'all went there together. And all of a sudden they leave you hanging when trouble arises, when you get surrounded, and now there you are left out to dry, right? How deeply unfortunate, right? Verse 13 in the KJV. Can I be heard?
Come.
Oh yeah, that.
Okay, verse 13.
6 and 13.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 6, verse 13. Separate thyself from thy enemies and take heed of thy friends.
Separate thyself from thy enemies and take heed from thy friends. Give me a con in the chat if you still with me. We'll make sure I haven't lost y'all. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't put it in the chat, but con.
Con, that one.
Unless that's an order. Put it in there, man.
Oh, man.
Oh, no trouble.
Oh man. Let's see what the G&T says, chapter 6, verse 13.
This is chapter 6, verse 13, G&T. Stay away from your enemies and be on guard against your friends.
Stay away from your enemies. Keep your friends close, as the secular saying.
I'm just going to bring that out.
As the worldly saying is, keep your, what does it say? Keep your friends.
It says keep your enemies close and your friends. No, keep your friends. Wait. Keep your.
We gotta Google it. Let's Google it.
Enemies closer. And the reason why they would bring that out was because you should always be watching your enemies as closely as possible because they're likely to stab you. Sun Tzu, huh?
I was just about to say it's crazy because
Moab, man.
You know, that got brought out. That got brought out by the author. Y'all ever heard of it's a book called The Art of War. Sun Tzu is the author of that book, right? And I'm not sure if this is in the context of that book, but you know, I can say that's probably a war tactic for sure. You know what I'm saying? How many, if you're a student of history, you know, that's something that often comes up, is that generals and kings are often betrayed by their inner court, right? You know, if you had to read about Julius Caesar in high school, you know, the famous saying, "A tu Brute, you too, Brutus." You know, Brutus was supposed to be Brutus was supposed to be Julius Caesar's. I believe that's the right Caesar. He's supposed to be Julius Caesar's right-hand man, his brother. Right. You know what I'm saying? But Brutus was in on the plot to betray Caesar. Right? Yep. How unfortunate, right? So we're getting close to the finish line here. In the last part, so we just read verse 13. I think we read it in the G&T as well. Stay away from your friends. Salakia, stay away from your enemies and be on guard against your friends. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer, right? And then in the KJV, let's read verse 14.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 6, verse 14. A faithful friend is a strong defense, and he that hath found such an one hath found a treasure.
You know, I like that because, you know, in the South, we speak differently. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we say stuff like, you know, I'm gonna always be there to hold you down. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when you talk about that phraseology of being held down, you know, that's getting into the aspect of being a defense, right, for your friend, right? So if your friend is down and out, he or she don't have the energy or the fight left in them, you are there and are able to be that defense, right? Let's read that one more time.
Verse 14. A faithful friend is a strong defense.
A strong defense. Go ahead.
And he that has found such an one hath found a treasure. KJV,
man,
what? They be
it's a treasure to have a friend that will defend you, that will be your defense, right? Before we get your precept, let's read verse 14 in the G&T right quick.
Verse 14, a loyal friend is like a safe shelter.
A safe shelter. Go ahead, Salakia.
Find one and you have found a treasure.
Man, a safe shelter that's going to be likened unto a hedge of protection around you, right? What's your precept, Adon?
Precept is Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 11 and 12. Again, If two lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? Verse 12, and if one prevail against him, two shall withstand him, and a threefold cord is not quickly broken. That's the strength of the having another person there that you can depend on and defend what you are.
I think somebody's brought up Proverbs 17:17. Did we bring that precept out?
Yeah, that's a friend love it at all times.
And and a brother is born for adversity.
Yo, out of one.
Yep.
What made you come up with this lesson, because this sounds like some snowfall shit.
So I can say it's not inspired by snowfall, but to be honest with you, it's just that I thought that this was just a powerful chapter. You know what I'm saying? A powerful chapter. And I've been having conversations with different people about relationships, you know what I'm saying, this week, and about relationships in all types of different contexts, right? Whether it be, friendships or relationships in the Israelite world, or, whether it be romantic relationships, where you're taking someone as a husband or a wife, or just, in the sense of where you're bringing someone into your organization or school, it just seems relevant, and it's something that I think personally you should always revisit. You can it's so much depth and breadth into the aspect of that title, the art of friendships. It could really be the art of relationships, and so yep.
I was gonna say, and to add, to let me back off of what you're saying. As we're getting ready to cross into our new year, we have to remember two things. One, that us being a family is not just to us by blood; it's by us in the aspect of how well we know each other, which is what I thought about in this regard to the lesson, right? And then also, as you get into the new year, understanding that which made you close in the first place with people, and trying to strengthen those bonds rather than relinquish those bonds, because life is going to throw all kind of things at us, as we've read so far. And we got to remember that when we are all we got, and those who are developing other friends or friendships in that regard, it does no injustice to you to examine how you get friends, so that you're making the best decision. And that's in the truth, and that's outside of the truth. That's both sides of it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's Jakes that don't care to hear his word, and you know what I'm saying. But
that's a fact.
You have to be able to entreat him to a certain degree and know that y'all have an understanding, So that's what I thought about when he put the lesson together. So, but go ahead.
And if I could say this too, one of the things that the Adawan Gawar has often stressed, is before you go and hold camp and go hold post with someone, you should know who you're laboring amongst. You should know about the relation. Who is this person that's standing to my left or to my right, that's reading this precept for me? If it hits the fan, is this brother, is he going to be able to help hold the line in a manner of strong defense? So it's not always in a matter of physical situations, but you that is important to know. It could be a matter of your own safety, right? Because if that brother is not cut out for that type of confrontation, then you may just need to level up even more, because now you got to be a defense for yourself and for that brother, right? So you know what I'm saying? So that's all it is, it's just the spirit, man,
Cut.
So I think we caught up on the precepts. We were at verse 14. We read it in the GNT as well. Nathan ain't letting us get away. And
Nathan says, oh, mine was just until your speech, but it doesn't have to be read, but I'm going to pull Nathan's.
Yep.
Nathan 5:23 and 24.
Mm-hmm.
5:23, it says, but I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause, Salakia, that's 22. 23, therefore, if thou bring thy gift to the altar and there be remembrance that thy brother hath aught against thee, leave there thy gift before the altar and go thy way. First be reconciled to thy brother, and then come and offer thy gift.
Now, how about that? Even in manners of sacrifice, right? That the Most High, He doesn't even want you to make a sacrifice of that. You're already commanded to make the sacrifice that's being brought out here. He already commanded it to be done, but He said, don't even make the sacrifice until you get it right with your brother. It's a precept, and I believe it's in James, if I'm not mistaken. It says something to the effect of, how can you believe in, or let me just pull it. Hold on.
I was saying, get it out.
Salakia. Hold on. How can
I'm in James, so I'm tell me what it is. I can kind of hopefully figure it out. Is it James 4:17? To him that knoweth to do good?
No, it basically the precept says that how can you love God who you can't see, but you can't love your brother who you can't see.
1 John 4:20.
Yeah. Hey, that brother quick on the sword, man.
Hey, 1
you
John
got it.
4.
You got it one? Okay.
4:20. If a man say, I love God, and hateth his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother whom he have seen, how can he love God whom he have not seen?
So how can you make a sacrifice to the Most High, right? Who you can't see. Apparently you can't see him, right? But you can't even you can't maintain your relationships with your brother that you can see, right? That you got to deal with every day, or regularly at least, right? Good precept. I don't want the water for bringing that out. Let's keep going. Verse number 15 in Sirach chapter 6.
Gone. This is the book of Sirach chapter 6 and verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing doeth countervail a faithful friend,
Mm-hmm.
and his excellency is invaluable.
His excellency is invaluable, right? What does it say in the GNT?
In the GNT, verse 15, nothing else is as valuable. There is no way of putting a price on it.
I mean, you can't even put a price on loyalty, man. You just can't do it.
Facts.
And that's in all manners of relationships, all manners of life. If you can count on a person to be loyal to you, that's above any treasure that you can get, because that relationship is one that is bound to last, right? Almost at the finish line. Sirach chapter 16 and verse 16 in the KJV, Baba Kasha.
This is the book of Sirach chapter 16 and verse 16. A faithful friend is the medicine of life, and they that fear the Lord shall find him.
You see, a faithful friend is the medicine of life, because again, that friend is there to help exhort you and to pour into you after you've been poured out, or after you are so outdone, if you find yourself in that situation, right? What does the GNT say?
The GNT verse 16, chapter 6 of Sirach. Mm-hmm. A loyal friend is like a medicine that keeps you in good health. Mm-hmm. Only those who fear the Lord can find such a friend.
Now that's a caveat. It says only those who fear the Lord can find such a good friend, right? Excellent. Right. So give me 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 1.
It's the book of 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 1. And it came to pass, when he had made an end of speaking unto Saul, that the soul of Jonathan was knit with the soul of David, and Jonathan loved him as his own soul.
There's this goes with that precept that there's a friend that is closer than a brother, right? Go ahead. Verse 2.
Verse 2. And Saul took him that day and would let him go no more home to his father's house.
So David moved in into the palace is what I believe this is in bringing out. So go ahead on verse 3.
Verse 3. Then Jonathan and David made a covenant because he loved him as his own soul.
He loved him as his own soul. That is powerful to when you build a bond with somebody that that Psalm 133 and verse 1, when you dwell together with a person in unity, it is just to the utmost pleasantness, right? Finally, this is the last verse that will be our primary verse that we build from. Sirach chapter 6 and verse 17 in the KJV.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 6 and verse 17. And it reads, whoso feareth Yahweh shall direct his friendship aright. For as he is, so shall his neighbor be also.
Yeah, because when you fear the Most High, you got other commandments that go with relationships and friendship, right? And we finna get to it, but when you fear the Most High, it just impacts your relationships on a totally different level, right? In the GNT, verse 17.
Verse 17, a person who fears the Lord can make real friendships.
Can make what?
He can make real friendships.
No, they fake friendships.
He can make real friendships.
Why can he do that?
Because he will treat his friends as he does himself.
He will treat his friends as he does himself, right? So with that, let's go to Matthew chapter 22, verse number 39.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 22 and verse 39. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
So this is in the context of, Yahushua being questioned about which are the greatest commandments, right? Of course, the first is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, and with all your soul, right? And then the second is likened unto it that you should love your neighbor as yourself, right? That's a commandment, right? You're commanded to have good relationships. You're commanded to have that, right? Matthew chapter 7, verse number 12.
This is the book of Matthew chapter, you said 7 and 12, right? Out of one?
Yes, sir.
This is the book of Matthew chapter 7 and verse 12. Therefore, all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them. For this is the law and the prophets.
This is the so-called golden rule that how they describe it in the world, to do unto others as you would them to do unto you, right? Even as it says in Sirach, let's see how the GNT says it. Because a person who fears the Lord can make real friendships because he will treat his friend as he does himself. He's going to do unto that friend as he would want that friend to do unto him, right? Two more precepts, Galatians chapter 5 and verse number 14. Galatians 5 and verse 14.
This is the book of Galatians chapter 5 and verse 14. For all the law is fulfilled in one word,
Mm-hmm.
even in this,
Mm-hmm.
thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. All right. That was supposed to be my last precept, but I see I missed adding this one into the mix. So I don't want to leave this out. Bring out Proverbs 18 and 24, Baba Kasha.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 18, in verse 24. And it reads, a man that has friends must shew himself friendly.
A man that has friends must show himself friendly, because that's just a part of the nature of it. And I believe that was supposed to go with, verse 5 in Sirach chapter 6. Read Sirach chapter 5 and verse 6 in the KJV, Baba Kasha. I mean, Sirach chapter 6 and verse 5, Salakia.
It would go better with 7 out of 1, just to let you know.
Look, we can get them both. So 7 is
okay.
7 is the central verse.
Okay.
You know
okay.
Wait. Hold on. Wait.
Okay.
I'm in the GNT, Salakia.
Go on.
Get back in the KJV. Yeah, 7 is the central verse, right? Without a doubt. All of these precepts can unfold out of verse 7 for sure. If
I was what you want out of 1?
Well, it was actually verse 5 in the GNT, actually. Read that, Baba Kasha, if you could.
Khan, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 6, verse 5 in GNT. If you are polite and courteous, you will enjoy the friendship of many people.
Yeah, so that's getting into that spirit of what's there. If you have friends, you must show yourself friendly, right? Because that's displaying kindness, politeness, and courtesy, right? And for the road, the last one, let's just get Sirach chapter 6 and verse 7 one more time in the KJV.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 6 and verse 7. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty. And be not hasty to credit him.
If you would have a friend, I beg all of you, if you would have a friend, if you're gonna seek to build a relationship with somebody, man, woman, dog, cat, whether this is a platonic relationship where you're just purely friends, like brothers and sisters, or brothers or sisters, or whether it be a relationship that is romantic where you desire to be with this person, intimately for the rest of your life, right? I beg you to prove this person, right? Before you give them credit, because it can only be for your benefit, right? It can't hurt you to prove this friend. So with that, I'm gonna land my plane, and open up the floor. If brothers got any questions, comments, precepts, or sisters even got any questions, comments, or precepts, and yeah.
So Slacky.